just us. In all the world, only you and me. Nobody ever comes here. You can tell. It's so untouched. Like God just made it.
Hey, Sherry, look.
It's Gavin, isn't it?
It's Gavin.
I can't ignore a guilty verdict just because our client got a suspended sentence.
Are we going to appeal it?
Oh, I talked to Mrs. Dell, and she agrees.
Well, in that case, I think I'll catch tonight's plane to San Francisco and start digging.
Well, call me if you have something.
Okay.
Oh, and try to make it back in time for your birthday, will you, Jess? Melissa and Frida are going whole hog on party plans.
Well, you tell them I'll be there, but nothing elaborate. I mean, no more than 30, 40 people.
See you, Jess.
Right.
Mr. Marshall, I'm Elliot Cord.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm afraid you caught me buying the opposition paper.
The evening edition of my paper is carrying this story.
Gavin Cord, your son?
Yes.
Is the pregnancy confirmed?
Yes, it is. Forcible rape, Mr. Marshall. He needs someone like you to defend him.
Did
he do it? He won't talk about it.
Well, Mr. Cord, if your son did, the district attorney finds him guilty, I can't diminish the consequences.
In its time, my paper has published enough rape stories. I should know someone always suffers.
Oh, and why don't these blasted things fit?
These are the wrong size. You want the yellow box. And that's a good pen he writes with. You know it, Brent.
Yellow. All right, okay. Elliot Cord is great. But his son is guilty, and I'm going to prove it.
With what?
Lucy Jameson and Elliot Cord took off from a picnic 10 weeks ago. Monday, Labor Day, to be exact. Witnesses saw Gavin running like crazy. That's a direct quote, minutes after the attack. That same afternoon, Lucy was at the emergency hospital for bruises and abrasions.
She mentioned the attack to the doctor.
Did they ever? She didn't know she was pregnant then.
And that's your whole case?
The victim has made a positive identification.
Well, that's no novelty, Brent.
You haven't met the girl.
Convincing.
Absolutely. Huh. Yellow it is.
Does she work?
Yes, at the Herald classified section.
Well, what about now?
She's still there.
She's charged Elliot Cord's son with forcible rape, and Cord hasn't fired her?
Well, maybe he's playing it cool. I don't know.
Maybe he's just a very decent man.
Which has nothing to do with his son.
No, not necessarily. Gavin played football in college.
Yeah. Made his first touchdown in high school. And you might say he's still scoring. I don't mean to joke about it. The simple fact is, I've got a good-looking, physically attractive son who's got a normal libido, and he's loose in an era of some remarkably uninhibited young ladies.
So why resort to force?
There's another why. Why not simply come to his old man and say I didn't do it? That really bugs me. Gavin's not as communicative as he was. He reads a lot, and
He's what?
well, he's changed.
Does he talk about the war?
Nope. And yet, somehow it seems that a part of him is still back there in Vietnam. Oh, Gavin. Short picture, huh?
Oh, real bum. The best thing were the subtitles. I see you're busy.
No. Gavin, I want you to meet Owen Marshall.
Oh, yes, sir. I saw you around campus when I was still in school. It seems like a very long time ago.
Gavin, your father wants me to defend you. But the decision is yours.
Is it? I mean, isn't it really your decision?
I don't understand that.
Well, if I'm a loser, why should you stick your neck out for me?
Are you a loser? Do you still go in for football?
Only from an armchair on Saturdays. I'm a surfer.
A religion, Mr. Marshall. You pray for family, peace, and surf.
You were hurt in the war.
Yeah, shrapnel in my arm. It doesn't bother me now.
Are you working?
Yeah, Parks and Recreation. I guess you have to ask all this stuff, huh?
Oh, and more if I'm going to defend you. Gavin, did you get Lucy Jemison pregnant? I have to know, Gavin. Did you get her pregnant?
Gavin, please answer, Mr. Marshall. Gavin, Mr. Marshall's trying to help us, trying to help you. Is it too much to ask to give him a straight answer? Gavin, for heaven's sake.
All right. Yes, I did it. I got her pregnant.
For one fleeting moment, hockey took America's center stage.
Hey, did I grow yet? Am I taller? Nope. Are you sure? Mm-hmm. I better eat some more Kix.
Now Kix is a good source of calcium, as much calcium as the milk you pour on it. Kids need all they can get during the years when pediatricians say bones grow the most.
Anything now? I think a couple of centimeters. I thought so.
Kix, with more calcium than any leading kid cereal. Kid tested, mother approved.
My doctor said occasional personal dryness is natural. She recommended KY. I chose KY Silk E. Nothing feels more natural.
KY Silk E with vitamin E from the #1 doctor-recommended brand.
You've really been wanting a satellite dish, haven't you? You want all the sports. You want all the movies. But you're concerned. Hey, Radio Shack explains everything. And for a limited time, Radio Shack will install it for free. Just buy an RCA DirecTV system for only $99.99, and you'll get free Radio Shack professional standard installation when you sign up for Total Choice programming. Get local channels by subscription in select areas. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Who is the Bubblegum Crew? We know to you. It's not the Bubblegum, the choo-choo-choo. The school dude easy, the disco diva, the fitness freak, a real overachiever. Who is the Bubblegum Crew? We know to you. It's not the Bubblegum stuck on your shoe. Say hi to big hair and groovy chick in Chatterbox. And don't forget Dancing Queen, she really rocks. And that's the Bubblegum Crew. Now you know what to do. Perfect for everyone, no matter what they do. And that's the Bubblegum Crew. Which one are you?
Take the Quilted Bounty Challenge. Wash the dishes with one sheet.
It does jobs I never thought a paper towel could do.
Wring it out like a cloth.
It's extra durable.
Bounty has cloth-like quilting, and it's quicker.
It even scrubs the carpet.
Ordinary towels fall apart on carpets, even top-quality towels. But Bounty has cloth-like durability.
The quilted top picks up.
Take the Quilted Bounty Challenge.
Burger King introduces the Bacon Cheddar Whopper. Crispy bacon and melted cheddar cheese with the great flame broiled taste of a Whopper.
We have re-entry in T-minus 10, 9.
The Bacon Cheddar Whopper. Available on Earth for a limited time, so grab one today.
Hi, Gavin. I had to see it to believe it. A fullback switching to surfing?
Hi.
Department of Parks and Recreation said I'd find you working around here.
Lunch hour.
Huh?
I guess it's a hassle if you have to reach me when I'm working or surfing.
Oh, any chance to get away from my office is no hassle.
You want to know about Lucy?
When you said that you were responsible for her being pregnant, I got the feeling you decided that was the easiest way to end the conversation. Now, I know how girls can say yes one minute, and then after they found out they're pregnant, scream foul. Now, if that's the way it is, Gavin, it'll give me something to work with.
Gav! Hi.
Hi. What happened to anthropology? I thought you had an exam.
Well, it was multiple choice. Pretty easy, I hope. Hello.
Hello.
This is Owen Marshall. Tracy Brown, my surfing buddy.
I didn't mean to break this up.
Gavin, why don't you drop by my office after work? Nice to meet you, Miss Brown.
It's beef and Swiss cheese. You can slice in the avocado. Hey, don't mention it.
Oh. Thanks for lunch, Trace. Hey, why don't you cut your way before we eat?
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Problem?
Yep,
Big one?
sort of.
What is it?
Jess.
Jess. Oh, honey. Now, I miss him, too. We both miss him. But don't you think you're a little young for him?
Come on, Frida, you know what I mean. I still don't know what to get him for his birthday present.
Ah.
She said she was giving him a briefcase.
She said?
Sandra, his new girlfriend.
Oh, that's very interesting. Because she told me she was giving him a wristwatch.
She's kind of pushy and rich. She'll probably get him both and make us look really dumb.
Oh. Hi. You missed Jess's call from San Francisco.
I hope he's doing better than I am.
Well, he said the only surviving member of the Dell family is unavailable. Car accident. Oh, did you find Gavin Cord?
Yeah, at the beach. With a girl. His surfing buddy called her. Very beautiful girl.
Mr. Marshall, you sound surprised. Mr. Marshall, that's like saying that Raquel Welch has to go to a computer to get a date. I think that you had better take a look at your client through a woman's eyes.
And what would I see?
Lochinvar, Don Juan, Mark Spitz, the whole crowd.
Frida, that's exactly why I don't buy his confession. Now, look, you've taken dictation on this case. What is your intuitive opinion of our client? Innocent or guilty?
I was afraid you were going to ask me that. Well, I would say that it wasn't the first time that one of our clients said he was guilty when he wasn't.
Some truths are uglier than a jail sentence, huh?
Mr. Marshall, you know, Gavin Cord pulled some pretty rough duty in the war. Now, something might have happened to our good-looking client. And suppose, and I'm not saying that I subscribe to this, but suppose Gavin's sexual drive is perverted.
Yeah, I've given that some thought.
Mr. Marshall, if you gave me a couple of hours, I could go to the library and do a little research.
All right. Meantime, I want to talk to as many of Gavin's ex-girlfriends as I can.
Maybe we can get a little bit closer to the truth.
Maybe.
Well, bachelors should dine together more often. Saves arguing about the check.
And a person can order his own drink. Waiter.
Scotch on the rocks, please. Well, you making any headway?
Nothing worth posting. I asked Gavin to drop by this afternoon. He didn't show.
This is Wednesday. That could be a partial explanation. He usually drives down to L.A. An army buddy of his that he got close to overseas.
His friend ever visit here?
No. No, I never met him. Why, do you think Gavin is lying?
I'm just reaching for anything. Gavin isn't being helpful at all, Mr. Clark.
Make it, Elliot. Maybe he thinks the confession he made to us is enough. Owen, I think my son is innocent. Now, are you telling me that that's just a paternal verdict?
Are those the papers?
Oh, yeah. A transcript of his grades, high school and college. letters he wrote to me from overseas. DD 214, that's a statement of service from the Army. And snapshots of various girls he used to date. Oh, and Lucy Jameson's personnel record. She came to work as usual on Tuesday, that was the day after Labor Day, and on Wednesday. But then on Thursday and Friday, she was absent. As far as her supervisor can remember, she never offered any excuse.
Does Gavin know you're giving me these?
Oh, yes, he helped me round them up.
Elliot, do you happen to know if Lucy Jameson lives alone?
No, she has a roommate. Young woman in our art department. A girl named Candace McNeil.
Well, I never got close to Lucy, even though we're roommates.
On the Thursday and Friday after the Labor Day picnic, Lucy didn't show up for work.
Yeah, that kind of sounds familiar.
Was she ill? Flu? Virus?
Not that I know of. She was just out. She came back to the apartment on Saturday morning.
What did she say?
I can give you the exact words. Good morning.
Miss McNeil, these are important questions.
Okay. She didn't say anything, and I didn't ask.
Your roommate vanishes?
Look, we don't go rummaging through each other's personal lives.
Did you know Gavin?
Know him. I introduced Lucy to him. Really threw me, you know. I mean, he got back and started coming on to Lucy. I guess it was all those letters she kept writing, the boss's son. You know, step up in the world. Miss Wholesome.
What does that mean?
It means I know enough about Lucy Jameson to bet you a second cup of coffee that Gavin and I were closer than they ever were. Even if he did get her pregnant.
This was before the Army.
It was no big deal. I just joined the crowd. Why not? Gavin was like, only 20, but he really knew his way around a girl, you know?
Marcia would like you to hurry it up. She'd like to have her coffee break before lunch.
Marcia's a drag. Oh, Lucy, this is Owen Marshall, the man who's going to keep you from hanging Gavin.
Miss Jameson?
I'm glad that this happened.
Well, I think I should mention that any discussion of the case in these circumstances would be unethical.
Unethical? You're trying to keep Gavin Cord out of jail, and you talk to me about ethics?
Miss Jameson, you know very well that everyone is entitled to a defense.
Oh, that's great. That is great.
Please.
Please what? Don't raise my voice? Disappear? You don't care about me or my child. You see, Mr. Marshall, you're paid to forget about us.
You're wrong if you think that.
You know what happens to a girl when she tries to get some justice after she's been raped? Do you? Well, first she calls out to her parents, only they don't answer because they're dead. You get dropped by everybody close to you. And boys have a way of avoiding you when they know that you're pregnant. You know who gets blamed for the whole ugly mess? But that doesn't matter to Gavin. It doesn't matter to anyone, I suppose, least of all to you, Mr. Marshall.
That really must have been terrible for you.
Well, she seemed so young, so fragile.
Mr. Marshall, keeping in mind that I really understand the principle that everybody deserves a good defense, can you tell me what's going to happen to Lucy Jameson if you get Gavin off the hook?
You sound convinced that Gavin's the father.
Well, she's a very convincing young lady, you said.
Yes, Brent said that about her, too. But Frida, a girl in her position can be convincing, persuasive, deceitful, violent. Anything she feels will help her unborn child. That's instinctive.
Miss Marshall, you haven't got a shred of evidence to clear Gavin. And you're still hoping.
Well, the case against Gavin may not be as transparent as it seems. There's something bothering that young man. So if he's reticent, uncooperative, sullen, well, there are reasons. Perhaps some we don't know.
You have just written a perfect summation for the prosecution.
Well, I don't think I haven't considered that possibility. But before I change the plea, I'd like to be a lot more certain than I am, wouldn't you?
You're asking me again. Mr. Marshall, if I have to cast my ballot on the evidence we've got, now I would have to vote guilty.
We had just moved into our new place. We didn't realize how much stuff we were going to need. But we both were working, and we thought, hey, we can handle this. And then Mike's company downsized.
Erica Fleming talks about the day she called Profina Debt Solutions.
So Mike's trying to find a new job. Meanwhile, all these bill collectors are calling us. It got so bad that a lawyer friend of Mike's said he was going to help us file for bankruptcy.
There's a place to call for help, and the service is free. At Profina Debt Solutions, we don't make loans. We do provide a non-profit confidential service. We negotiate with your creditors and stop the phone calls.
We couldn't believe it. I mean, they got our payments down.
Yeah, way down.
Get all your bills together, then give us a call. In 30 minutes, we can lower your payments and start getting you out of debt.
Mike just had a really good interview. I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, but I don't know what we'd have done if we hadn't called him.
Don't wait till things get bad. Call Profina Debt Solutions. It's not a loan. It's a way out of debt.
We're crazy about television. TV Land.
When you coach the junior gymnastics team, you do most of the exercise, so muscle aches are out of the question. That's why I take Advil every time. This is a very safe sport, as long as I can keep up. So I trust Advil. Absolutely nothing's been proven stronger in even tough pain. These kids depend on me, and I depend on Advil.
Advil, stronger than pain. And for kids, nothing relieves fevers faster than children's Advil.
Who's the silliest bear around? It's Singing Giggle Pooh. He sings.
When I'm up, down, touch the ground.
Tickle him, and he giggles while he sings.
I improve my appetite.
It's the house brilliant. Singing Giggle Pooh and friends.
Buying a carpet deep cleaner can be confusing. You may think they have steam or heat the water, but in fact they don't. Presenting the Bissell Pro Heat, the only upright deep cleaner with a built-in heater to heat the water. See the light? The heat is on, making the hot tap water up to 25 degrees hotter for maximum cleaning performance. The Bissell Pro Heat. See the light? Bissell. We mean clean.
Escape the everyday, even if it's just for dinner. Red Baron Baked to Rise. It's our most incredible pizza yet.
Can your tissue take care of your biggest blows without going to pieces? Puffs Extra Strength can. When wet, it's twice as strong as the leading ordinary tissue. And because it's Puffs, it's also soothingly soft. Puffs Extra Strength takes the blows and soothes your nose.
It leaks. It is not supposed to rain in California, and your umbrella is not supposed to leak.
Frida, you're soaked.
You noticed. Maybe that's because I have been functioning above and beyond, while your colleague, our beloved brother Brandon, is out cavorting in San Francisco.
Well, if it's any comfort, Jess's investigations are paying off, and it's raining even harder there.
Ah, now that's justice. But I'm still not mollified.
What's mollified?
Mollified means that I'm still mad because the American Bar Association's #1 Mr. Fix-It can't keep that door from sticking when it rains. Oh, Major Perkins from the Army Legal Office sent his regards. And he said that Gavin's discharge was AR 635-200, and paragraph 3 indicates SPN 662, which is the magic number because it means it was a medical discharge.
Which means that the arm wound was more serious than he indicated.
No, it means that it was a psychiatric discharge.
Oh. No details, of course.
No, but the records are on file at the Army Record Center in St. Louis, and it can be gotten if you can get Gavin's signature on a release.
No, everything takes time, even authorizations. Get him on the phone, will you, Frida?
Okay.
The boy won't authorize your looking into his files. So what am I supposed to do about that, Owen? Well, I thought, Judge Avery, that in a case like this, a very special case, you could... Yes? Well, that you could use your influence with someone you know in the Army Records Office to let us take a look at those files.
That's simple.
Well, I know it's not simple at all.
Oh, and it's impossible. That's what it is, and you know it. Without his approval.
He could spend the next good years of his life in prison. There's something in those records that's important to this case.
You, sense that, have a hunch about that.
Well, sometimes that's all we have to go on, a hunch.
Suppose the young man's file helps the prosecution. As a judge, whether I'm to be involved in this case or not, and I think not, I can't act exclusively on your client's behalf, and you know that.
I know.
I'm suggesting you could be hanging your own client.
Can't hang a man twice.
You giving you a hard time?
So much so that I'm willing to risk whatever you turn up. Judge, I need something to go into court with. As it stands, you'll be convicted.
I'll see what I can do. But you have to get some authorization for this. His father, someone's.
Where are you? Gav? Where's the uncomplicated, handsome surfer that I practically grew up with? I only see part of him lately.
I thought you were the girl who didn't ask questions.
Okay. Open your mouth. You see? Has nothing to do with environment. It's all genetic. My father was a basketball player.
I know what you mean now. But only seeing part of me.
We also have pears and apples.
No, I want to talk about it, Tracy. I can't exactly pin down what it is. I feel like I'm dangling in time. I don't know which way to look for the past or which way to turn for the future.
Is this all since you've come back?
Some kind of gap in my memory. The Army doctors try to help me with it.
It's about something that happened in the war?
Pieces of whatever it is keep coming back to me. More often lately. I can't seem to really grab hold of them. It's like seeing something, and then when it's gone, I'm not even sure it was there.
This rain should bring some good surf.
I think there was a girl. Surf ought to be real good.
You made a confession under emotional pressure, which I reject. Other than that, you've retreated every time I try to get the facts from you. Gavin, the stakes are high. Years of your life in prison. The stigma of ex-con and rapist following you for the rest of your life. You had a medical discharge. Psychiatric reasons. Well, you know that your father gave me your DD-214 statement of service.
Oh, yeah. I guess I just forgot about those Army shrinks.
Gavin, where do you go on Wednesdays? Every Wednesday.
There isn't anything I can say to help you, Mr. Marshall. I better be going.
Judge Avery still hasn't heard from the Army Record Center.
Which means I'll be walking into that courtroom without a meaningful defense.
I'm afraid so.
But, Frida, we mustn't let this chip away at our determination to give him a good defense. I want to know more about Lucy Jennison. Those 2 blank days during that week. The other men in her life. Who else did she date? Let's dig way back.
Mr. Marshall, is there a chance Gavin may really be sent to prison?
Oh, I'm afraid so. Tracy, is he very different since he came back?
In a way, we both are. There was a time, well, when I guess we thought we'd be marrying each other. Now we're just good friends. Platonic. Really. Surfing buddies. Well, he sleeps at my place every now and then, but only because it's raining or it's convenient, like that. On the couch, Mr. Marshall. I don't expect you to believe me, but it's true.
Oh, I believe you. I wish I didn't. A close relationship between you and Gavin would work for us in court.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, most people, including women, are ready to condemn the female in this type of case. Especially if the defendant has someone else on the hook.
That's wild.
Gavin wrote to you while he was in Vietnam, I suppose.
Yes, a couple of times. I think he felt obligated to tell me about the marriage.
Marriage?
Didn't he mention it to you?
Who did he marry?
He never did. He applied to his captain, I guess it was, for permission to marry a Vietnamese girl. A girl named Tham.
Well, why didn't they go through with it, you know?
No. Didn't ask about that either.
It's all here. TV Land.
I was about as miserable as a girl could be. Heartburn worse than yesterday's coffee. And pain. My antacid didn't do the whole job. And Pepsid takes so long. Then I tried Alka-Seltzer. It just plain worked better.
Alka-Seltzer, the only one with the medicines to relieve all your symptoms.
It really works fast.
And only Alka-Seltzer has the effervescent power to speed relief.
Alka-Seltzer. It made a believer out of me.
Get better relief. Get Alka-Seltzer.
Firm gave me a new Camry.
Better dust off the old resume, Bob.
It's a perk.
Well, if you didn't get a Buick Century, you peaked. The vultures are circling.
No.
Oh, yeah. Hop in there, Bobo. Yeah, unlike Camry, Accord, or Taurus, every Century comes with traction control, dual climate control, and 4-wheel ABS standard.
Really?
Take the Century Challenge and get a Century 2000 Special Edition with a Millennium offer worth $1,500.
It's the CEO.
What are you doing in my car? I asked him the very same thing.
Something's happening in toddler nutrition. A magical combination of nutrition and taste. New Enfagrow toddler foods from Enfamil. Cheese stars with an excellent balance of 14 vitamins and minerals. The only toddler cookie that provides 30% of their daily value of iron, calcium, and zinc. Made with real fruit. Oatmeals and milk flavorings make good things even better. More amazing is how fast they disappear. Taste and nutrition. That's the magic of Enfagrow.
Switching to the local news, another serious outbreak of E. coli was traced to the north side today, where hundreds of
It's
people...
news like that that makes you want to run out for the best disinfecting spray you can find. I used to use Lysol, but I switched to new Clorox disinfecting spray. Here's why.
As the surface is touched, Lysol's protection fades, while Clorox keeps killing 99.9% of bacteria, even after touching, for 24 hours. A little good news for a change. New Clorox disinfecting spray lasts longer than Lysol.
Just getting by isn't enough. I want to succeed. That means doing more, being smarter, performing at my best. It's a demanding life, and it uses up nutrients. New Centrum Performance helps replace them.
It starts as a complete Centrum Multi. Then we add energy essential nutrients, including increased levels of key B vitamins, antioxidants, plus ginseng and ginkgo.
It helps energize my mind and body. Life's demanding, but I thrive on it.
Centrum Performance. Life demands it.
Daddy,
Yes, sweetie?
can the monsters get me?
Not a chance.
When you've got ADT, you've got the power of advanced home monitoring technology.
Good morning, this is
The
Diane.
power of experienced professionals helping to keep you safe.
Okay. Calling the fire department right now.
From burglary, fire, flooding, carbon monoxide, even the occasional monster. Call now and get ADT's sophisticated burglary system installed for as little as $99. You could also save up to 20% off your basic homeowner's insurance.
And thank you for choosing ADT.
ADT helps protect more homes and families than any other security company in America. Call now and get the ADT burglary system installed from $99, plus up to 20% off your homeowner's insurance. Sleep tight. Get the power of ADT.
No jury trial. Good.
You're sure that's the way you want it?
Yes.
The judge has ruled that it'll be a closed hearing. No spectators.
Reporters?
He's ruled that there'll be no press commentary until the conclusion of the trial.
Everybody's being so nice. I know I've done nothing but run interference. I'm sorry.
About that girl, Tham. Were you refused permission to marry her? Gavin, you all right?
Yeah, sure. Sure, I'm okay.
Anything?
It doesn't look as if the Army Record Center is going to come through in time.
Aren't the circumstances here unusual enough to justify cutting through some of that red tape?
We've used every channel available. Elliot, did you know that Gavin had applied to marry a Vietnamese girl?
How much more don't I know about my own son?
He was running like someone was chasing him.
But you saw no one else.
No.
Might you describe the running as a desperate action brought on by guilt?
Objection, Your Honor.
Objection sustained. The bench remind the district attorney he is not playing to a jury. Calling for fanciful conclusions filled with implications does not move me, Mr. Grant.
Yes, Your Honor. Your witness.
Miss McNeil, would you consider Gavin Cord an athlete?
Sure. He was the best in school. He surfs.
Would you say he's in good shape?
He sure is.
How do you suppose he keeps in good shape, besides surfing?
Well, I guess he works out.
Jogging? Running, perhaps?
There was only the one laceration, and that had dirt in it, soil.
I see. Now, Doctor, is it more likely that Miss Jameson's injury was inflicted in a natural setting as opposed to in a home or a car?
Yes, that's right.
Your witness.
Dr. Hyatt, was Miss Jamison's clothing ripped in a manner that would suggest rape?
I really don't remember.
Now, Doctor, this injury sustained by Miss Jamison, might it have been the result of a simple fall in a natural setting?
Yes.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
After we kissed, I thought he looked, I don't know, kind of funny.
You mean strange or different?
Both, I guess. I'd never seen him like that before, and it scared me. I started to run.
Did the accused then pursue you?
No. Not then.
In that case, why didn't you keep on running?
I fell. That's when I fell. He was kissing me again, and his hands... I told him that if he didn't stop, that I would scream. That's when he hit me.
Where?
Here. With his fist.
I have no further questions. Cross-examine.
Miss Jamison, on the Wednesday following the alleged attack, you left the apartment you share with Candace McNeil, and you didn't return until the following Saturday morning. Is that correct?
I wanted to be alone. I had to think things out.
And where did you go?
I drove up the coast, took a motel room.
Where?
Some little town.
Well, exactly where? Which town?
I don't remember the name.
Were you alone?
Yes.
You're sure that no one shared that motel room with you?
Yes, I'm sure.
You were in that room all alone for 2 days?
That's right.
Miss Jameson, isn't it a fact that whatever relations you had with the defendant were preceded and followed by other intimacies with one or more men?
No!
Objection, Your Honor. Counsel is assuming facts not in evidence. The issue here is rape, and that alone.
I withdraw the question. I have no further questions, but I reserve the right to call this witness for the defense. The defense calls for its first witness, Miss Tracy Brown. Could you describe the kind of lover you had found Gavin Cord to be?
He was warm and tender and thoughtful.
Could any sense of the word violence apply to your relationship? Go ahead, Miss Brown.
There was no hint of violence in our relationship at all. I've known Gavin in a different way since he's come back. But he's still a very gentle human being.
Your Honor, I've just received something very important. May we approach the bench?
You may do so.
Your Honor, certain critical information not previously available has just reached me. My secretary has marked 2 key paragraphs.
Owen, if you have evidence that proves that the information in this Army document applied at the time of the alleged attack, why, I'll consider a motion for dismissal.
I can't prove it. I didn't know about any of this.
Well, I won't hassle you, Owen. What do you want to do?
Put Gavin on the stand.
Very well.
Yes, sir. 4 months on jungle patrol was not routine. Company B just happened to get caught up on some paper follow-up. Things were winding down. There was a lot of that.
Casualties?
About 20%.
But you weren't wounded?
No, sir, not then. At a fire base near Quang Tree.
Enemy artillery?
Yes, sir. Shrapnel wounded. It wasn't bad.
Yet you were flown out by helicopter?
Yeah, that's right.
Had you forgotten that, Gavin?
Well, you forget details.
Where were you treated?
A field hospital, and then Saigon.
And you were in Saigon for nearly 4 months?
4? Is it that long?
What do you remember about Saigon?
The hospital. Then I was reassigned to the Tonsanod Air Base on the outskirts of Saigon.
Do you remember the doctors?
Some of them.
And nurses? Gavin? One nurse, maybe?
I think so.
And did you see her again after you left the hospital?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember her name?
Tham. Her name was Tham.
And you became friends?
She was very beautiful.
And Gavin, do you remember falling in love with Tham?
I was going to marry her.
But then something happened. The Viet Cong were shelling the city, Saigon.
They started early that night. It was bad. We went to a friend's house, Ingmar. He worked for a Swedish newspaper. but he was out of town. We were just beginning to think of that place as our own. That's where I asked Tam to be my wife.
Gavin, I am frightened.
We'll be all right.
The other times, I was not frightened.
It's too dark in here. That's why I'll get some candles.
Do not leave me.
I'll never do that. Never.
Sometimes I think you say such things because I will not make love until we are secretly married.
Hey, there isn't anything that can make me feel more married to you than I do right now. Tam, for me, you're already my wife.
Husband, there are candles in the closet. I will close the shutters.
Your Honor, a short recess. Gavin, you understand why I had to put you through that?
So the doctor's been trying to get out of me, isn't it?
Well, that's where you go every Wednesday. To a psychiatrist in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Why?
Because nothing's changed.
You're still impotent?
Come on, Mr. Marshall. It's all in there, isn't it? In that Army report.
Gavin, it happens that it was you who took Tam to that room. It was you who wanted to consummate the love you shared. And now you're blaming yourself for her death. And your guilt is being manifested in your impotency. I don't suppose there's anything more depressing or humiliating for a man than to find that he can't have a normal sexual life. But your understanding of the reason may be the cure. Gavin, the blame sits on 1,000 consciences. The fault rests with the cruelty of war. None of what's happened was your fault. You've got to know that. And now I'd like to get back into that courtroom.
Do I have to testify?
If you let me call you to the stand.
Look, I don't want the whole world knowing.
It's in the records, Gavin. I'm obligated to offer it as evidence. And after that, I want you to tell your side of exactly what happened that day.
Is my word going to be enough?
Well, after your testimony, I'll call Lucy Jemison.
Do you think she'll perjure herself, keep on lying?
No. I don't think so.
No. No, he never said anything about it. I thought it was that, you know, he didn't care. He just suddenly ran. I wanted to die. I loved Gavin, and he ran from me. So I ran. I slipped and fell.
Which is why you went to the emergency hospital. Lucy, why did you accuse Gavin?
Because I hated him. And when I found out that I was pregnant, when I was sure I found a way to use that hate, I wanted to hurt him the way that he'd hurt me. The way that I thought he'd hurt me.
And the father of your child?
He was just somebody passing through. And I stayed with him those 2 days. trying to forget Gavin. Oh, Gavin, I'm so sorry.